So my name's Neel Shah. I'm an obstetrician from Boston. I am a relatively new dad. Of our country and every segment of our society, from the Upper East Side of Manhattan to Tulsa, Oklahoma to Bentonville, Arkansas, we are unreliable at delivering on this American promise. I've noticed, I spent a lot of my time traveling around the country seeing the way babies are born. So let me tell you what's normal in the United States right now. 1 in 3 human beings gets major surgery to give birth. 1 in 10 of our babies go to the NICU. In sub-Saharan Africa, maternal mortality has been going down for the last couple of decades. In the United States of America, it's been going up with a trend line by 50%. If you're a black mom today, your odds of dying in childbirth are 3 to 4 times higher on average than if you're a white mom. 12 times higher if you live in New York City. If you live in the 75% of this nation's landmass that's rural, you have less than a coin flip odds of being anywhere near somebody qualified to take care of your pregnancy or your birth. And then everybody is so focused on the birth that they forget that in the period after the birth, how many people here are parents? Yell. In the period after the birth, you will remember that you're facing POW level sleep deprivation and also facing relentless pressure to go back to work at the same time. So we're here today because we believe that we can do a lot better than that. And we've got the voices of real American families standing aside, alongside public leaders to tell you not only what's going on in our country, but a hopeful message about how it could be different. So thank you all so much for being here, and this is going to be a great day. Thank you. So my name's Neel Shah. I'm an obstetrician from Boston. I am a relatively new dad, and I am the vice president of March for Moms. And so in that capacity, actually Luca and I are both the vice president for March for Moms. That's actually where I wanted to start. I've got a couple thank yous to do, and I want to start with thanking every single person who's wearing an orange t-shirt right now. This was a lot of volunteer effort. It was a lot of effort that came sometimes with the support of families. And we really appreciate all of you very, very much. I also have the opportunity to thank Luca, a couple of organizations that were part of our coalition, including the National Coalition for National Mental Health, Maternal Mental Health, the National Partnership for Women and Families, the Society for Maternal Fetal Medicine, Moms Rising, the National Birth Equity Collaborative, Black Mamas Matter, Benny Birth, Our Bodies Ourselves, and the Center for Breastfeeding. Now, I just named 9 organizations out of a total of 23 organizations, nearly 24 organizations that, for the first time, formed a giant, large tent coalition for maternal health to speak with one voice and highlight all of the issues that you heard about today. In thinking about this, I know you want to speak, buddy. You have something to say? No? Okay. In thinking about this, okay, so let me start here. So as a doctor, I watched the opioid epidemic get worse and worse year after year. And then we hit a tipping point. We hit a point where middle-aged white men were dying more and more. The mortality rate for middle-aged white men went up, and that was a tipping point. That led to something called the Fed Up Rally, which happened right here on the National Mall 2 years ago. And that's what launched a productive national conversation about what we should be doing for the opioid epidemic, and got an issue that was largely invisible to policymakers on their radar. I know, buddy. So we thought, if it doesn't seem like the world needs another march, right? But we thought if, science on Earth Day is okay and taxes on tax day are okay, why not moms on Mother's Day? The maternal health crisis that we're seeing are things that you've heard about all across the afternoon so far. So, there are more moms dying in childbirth than ever before. It's not a new thing. It's been going up for 20 years. We have the highest prematurity rates in the entire developed world. We have the worst access, the widest disparities, the worst family leave policies in the entire developed world. And honestly, just putting those issues on the radar of policymakers was the objective of this. Until last week. Last week, we decided to up the ante, and here's why. I'm normally a pretty happy person, and it's because in addition to being Luca's dad, I've got the greatest job in the world as an obstetrician. I get to introduce moms to their new babies for a living, right? I love moms, who doesn't? So imagine how angry I was last week when I learned that just 10 days before Mother's Day, the United States House of Representatives decided to slap American mothers across the face. They unapologetically passed a bill that strips nearly $880 billion from Medicaid, the primary funding source for our moms and our babies. Then they dumped salt in the wound by making it possible for pregnancy to be a pre-existing condition. So guys, just 10 days before Mother's Day, they made motherhood a pre-existing condition. Are you upset yet? Well, it gets worse. So just a couple days later, Mitch McConnell put together the Senate committee that's going to be drafting their version of the bill. And there are no women on that committee. There are no moderates. So there's no way we're going to let them get away with that, right? Because you don't mess with American moms and get away with it, right? So this Mother's Day, we're bringing together all of you, including hundreds to thousands of people that are watching right now on Facebook Live, to make sure that our policymakers know that American families are paying attention and they're not going to get away with this. We're here on the Jefferson Memorial right now, and in addition to being one of the most beautiful monuments in Washington, it's about life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. It's about justice, and ultimately that's what this is about. Martin Luther King, and then Barack Obama after him, was fond of talking about the moral arc of the universe and how it's up to us as citizens to bend it. Okay? There are a lot of very reasonable senators that are going to be considering this bill this coming week. A lot of them are Republicans that are reasonable, and a lot of them are moms. Two of them specifically are reasonable Republicans who are also moms. Okay? And this event is exactly what they need to point to and get us out of this bind. Okay? So all of you being here right now is making a tremendous difference. Thank you so much.